Do you want to know what the fallen are, little one? In a sense, they are angels, but not the angels your mom imagines she prays to. Brass trumpets picnicking in the clouds. In their true essence, they are great swirling engines of wing and blood, fiery eyes that peer around the corners between worlds. Dark, radiant things conjured from fresh battlefields. A Frankenstein's Valkyrie, forever crashing to Midgard. What grief demands their hate? What vast cannibal hunger?
Welcome to the Fallen Cycle Mythos Fiction Podcast.
Hello, everyone. James Curcio here, author and producer of the show, which I imagine you've been listening to. Season 6 is in the final stretch of post-production, and I wanted to give a little update on what's been going on between seasons and behind the scenes. Some goodish news first. Season 5 has pulled in a few thousand listeners so far, a step up from previous seasons, and I'm still seeing people start from the very beginning and work their way through, which is great. I've been, quote, unquote, producing independent media for decades now, and this is a particularly challenging time to be doing it for a variety of reasons. So to the listeners out there putting in the time for long form, which is really where all my best work lives, thank you. Keep showing up, and I'll keep doing it. Chances are I'd do it either way historically, but anyway. So, Season 6. It's really sounding good, though. Man, when I started in on this audio edition of Party at the World's End, I knew I was setting myself up for a tall order on the music production and especially, and then predictably wound up going even further out there with the soundtrack than I initially imagined. Many months of post-production later, I'm happy with how it sounds, happy to share it, and kind of happy to put it all behind me. It's been fun. It's also been a ton of work. So, a few other updates. The black and white print edition of Tales from When I Had a Face is, of course, still on Amazon, as is Party at the World's End. In the case of Party at the World's End, I'll keep sticking to my guns that this audio version is much closer to what I originally envisioned than the 2014 book ever was, and you're getting it here for free. My hope is that more of you check out the other projects and Modern Mythology, which we've got cooking. So on that, the RPG, in terms of the Fallen Cycle RPG, I know this has been in development since 2021, but we have made some real progress on the system, and we've got our first semi-functional character sheets together. Looking forward to a few more rounds of playtesting at minimum before we entertain crowdfunding this thing the rest of the way. I want it to be most of the way there already, so I know that I'm delivering the best that I possibly can. Another factor in timing that is what shipping is going to look like then. It's kind of remarkable how much geopolitics factor into planning a Kickstarter, which is a topic for another day, I'm sure, but it's a thing. For anyone who hasn't been following along, The Fallen Cycle is a story-first tabletop RPG. Your character carries the weight of an archetype old enough to outlive them. Some of them know it, most don't, at least at the start. The world they move through is our world, more or less, or at least that's one of the options, with 3 other realms listening behind the walls: Dream, the Land of the Dead, and the Underworld, where the fallen keep their own counsel. Then there's Blackout, the novel inspired by the first RPG campaign officially run in the Fallen Cycle. I think there have been 4 now. The tentative title is Blackout Terminal Ghosts. We'll see if that survives or not. It's coming along. It's a long one, so I'm thinking of breaking it into 3 books and then doing a full release that contains 3 portions, though that'll ultimately depend on how I wind up putting it out, whether it gets folded into the RPG Kickstarter. I mean, it does kind of highlight, how a Fallen Cycle campaign can play out, because it literally started out as a campaign. And if you've poked around the site, you've probably seen this one taking shape. It's a cyber noir by way of Mythpunk and slow burn supernatural horror. Based in Hong Kong, 2054, you follow Cell 54, a handful of washed-up savants and so-called divergent talents, on contract to an agency called Heliotrope Virtual. It starts with a gig like any other and turns into a conspiracy that ties a rogue corporate AI to the dreams of long-dead gods, entities that cycle through human consciousness to shape history. And underneath all of it, a contest with the custodians of death, over which memories survive the next culling. Over on Modern Mythology, that's the other half of what we've been up to here. It's where we explore tabletop RPGs as storytelling systems, how the rules shape the choices players make, how the story pushes back and reshapes the rules, how a table turns a tired old trope into something living. And we feature interviews, essays, one-shot actual plays, lots of discussions. Unlike this podcast, it's pretty free form. We do edit it a bit, but it's it's us in a room talking. It's not heavily produced the way this is. And for my part, Modern Mythology has kind of been the study lab for the Fallen Cycle system, as I want to have a grasp of more than a handful of systems before entertaining, creating, or synthesizing anything new. Let's see what else. You can now sign up for the mail list to catch the big announcements. It's on both sites. We haven't sent out any mail to the list yet, as I want to save it for the big stuff rather than hitting everyone with each podcast release. We're still working on the strategy for that. There's a lot of spinning plates to manage here. And as always, come join the Discord if you want in on the discussion. It's the Modern Mythology RPG Discord. Though games are only made public to those who join them, the channels, once you get through the onboarding process, there's a number of public channels, and you can ask to find out about what RPGs and video games are currently ongoing or upcoming. It's kind of our little clubhouse. Finally, season 6 won't be the end of the Fallen Cycle podcast, I don't think, but it'll likely be a while before the next is ready for the audio treatment, whether that's going to be Blackout or Witch Hunters or whatever. I do have recordings of the Witch Hunters sessions, at least for season 2. Season 1, we didn't think ahead to record. So one of the consideration I've had is starting a podcast with that, integrating it with the fictional format. But we'll see. I'm going to see if it actually works. Kind of doing that back to back of having the play and then having the fiction and having the play and having the fiction. So you can see it firsthand. I would find that fascinating. It's kind of an open question if anyone else would. And that's one of the things I'd love to hear more of, actually, for this podcast and for Modern Mythology is more from you. I see the download numbers, I see subscriptions, but there isn't much feedback beyond that. So I assume we're doing well, but it's always good to hear what's been useful, what hasn't. So yeah, I expect this to be the last season of the Fallen Cycle podcast for a good stretch, which will at least give everyone plenty of time to catch up, because there's a lot of material already in there. And look for the 9 episodes of season 6 to start running in September, weekly. See you then.
You have been listening to the Fallen Cycle Mythos podcast. Keep subscribed to receive new episodes as they are released at fallencycle.com or on the podcasting service of your choice.